So, I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. Steve here from Big Head Tech, and I've already actually reviewed this case. I just haven't published a review because the sound was single channel, because I don't want to go into that. Anyway, we have the MB311L ARGB from Cooler Master. It is a $60 case with two front RGB fans, mesh fronts. It is a micro ATX case, so it's fitting for a micro ATX board. And I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't built it yet, but I'm going to tell you why I think this is a really, really good budget RGB option. So let's go over what I don't like. These breakaways right here, they're not screwed in, they break out. I hate that. I really do hate that. I know tolling is probably easier. I just really hate that. This does have a top filter that's magnetic. The bottom filter is not, but it's larger, which is quite nice. I will say that. The front does technically support up to 360. I believe 280 and 360 respectively. You would have to move the hard drive cages to do that, but you do have that. The top does also support 240 and 280. You can probably, judging by the way this is designed, so this is recessed, so the motherboard's actually not sitting up as far. That's usually the big problem is the Kohler interferes with the VRM heatsink. So because this is further down, if you're not going with a high-end board with tall heatsinks, that can help you fit a 280. Plus, there's about this much right here, about that much, I'll go to the front here, room between the top and the motherboard. So you might be able to fit a 280 in there. That being said, this is a $60 case. A 280 rad's going to be a lot more expensive. I probably wouldn't recommend it personally, but either way, it does support it. SSD drive mounts, you have two in the bottom here. You have two back here, and then you don't have sleds, you have rails. That's a cost-saving measure that I can get behind. I honestly can. I don't see that being an issue. You do have an inline controller for the RGB. If you have a motherboard that doesn't support it, I don't think you should be buying this case if it doesn't. And you also have the addressable RGB splitter that can actually support one more RGB fan. And you also have a 3-fan splitter, so you have room for a third fan. Although not PWM, it only supports the 3-pin there. And everything is blacked out except the HD audio, so that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to go ahead and build in it now. There will be a build log, so I'll have the build log in a separate video, but I'll kind of give you my thoughts. I don't have the final graphics card, but it's a small graphics card anyhow, because it's just a smaller single fan, but it's GDDR5. So what do I think of this case? It exceeded and didn't exceed my expectations. So there's a lot of things I like about it. The layout definitely favors good for beginners, has holes in the right spots for routing, cable management for mid-range, lower-end systems is fine. RGB is not confusing. You know, I do like it overall. There's actually some things I'm very surprised it has, like, you know, magnetic filter up here and a decent filter in the bottom, and you know, like I said, the holes are all in the right place, and it can support, you know, 2 3.5 inch, 4 2.5 inch drives. But where it kind of falls short is like some simple things. Like this is plastic, right? That's fine. No problem with that. No proper filtration in the front. A lot of cases in this price range isn't going to have that. What really gets me is the rear breakouts, because as always, I never break them out until after the system's built. I need to be very careful not to damage the board. So it is what it is. That being said, I think it does exactly what it's supposed to do. A compact, lightweight case that's easy to build in for beginners, has 2 RGB fans. I would actually probably recommend getting a third one, so get another addressable RGB 120. I think these are probably the air balanced. Put it in the rear, and it already has connectors both for the fan and the RGB. It's already daisy chain ready to go, just connect it up. And that way you'll have good front to back airflow. But this should be fine for how we have it configured, but that would be like my recommendation. I'm not saying Cooler Master should have done that for a $60 case. I mean, these fans are like $30 on the cheap side, $45 on the high side usually. So I don't think they could have done it. So I'm gonna say I actually bought this from Amazon, so I'm going to say buy it, link in the description below. If you liked the video, liked it, dislike, leave a comment, get subscribed. If you do buy this or anything else during that session, I do get a small commission, so that does help me out a lot. And as always, this is Steve from Big Head Tech, and I'll see y'all later on down the road.